Greetings, brothers and sisters. We are finally back. We finally made it to another one. Another reaction on this Mystelics reaction, guys. And of course, big up all the Mystelics family. We've tuned into another vibrations. I appreciate you guys for being a part of these vibrations. You didn't have to, but you just and I appreciate you for being here yet again to another one, brothers and sisters. And of course, in the comments today, big up all the new individuals. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to see what's up. Welcome to every single one of you guys. Don't forget to do what? Click the thumbs up button, brothers and sisters. Click the like button, brothers and sisters. I appreciate that right there. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations. But of course, I upload and publish my videos. You'll be notified inadvertently if you also click the bell, click the post notification bell. You will, of course, inadvertently become part of the Mystelics family right there. Of course, leave your thoughts and comments. These are my thoughts and comments, brothers and sisters. Revelation, brothers and sisters, might be happening. What is it, brothers and sisters? And that is information. I think it's vital that we know these things right there. And what it means for the individuals out there who it pretty much pertains to. And, of course, with that said right there, brothers and sisters, let us get into the vibrations for the day right now. Of course, we have this individual making an interesting statement on BlacKMOORE. BlacKMOORE, what is going on? Apparently, he's the Minister of Insecurity. And not calling baby Sarah name and not talking about women that want to leave and then they making noise and whatnot, taking them black. I don't know. All right. But Minister of Insecurity who like to dance in strange ways. But you know, that's how it goes, brothers and sisters in Dominica. However, this individual is saying something very interesting right there. How long must Dominica, not Dominica Republic, but how much longer must the Dominican people endure the reckless failures of BlacKMOORE, the so-called Minister of National Security? I remember, I think I have to do it. I'm going to do a live interaction reaction, hopefully Sunday, brothers and sisters, on that merit right there. And I think a number of persons need to definitely tune in to BrBpTV. I'm going to do another one, brothers and sisters. Of course, you guys saw that I did the reaction with the lawyer and the businessman on Matt. Well, apparently, I was told there's a lot more to be uncovered right there. So, of course, for us to get into that, we must definitely do a live interaction reaction. So, definitely tune in on BrBpTV, brothers and sisters, so we can get into the vibrations right there. But, of course, BlacKMOORE is very interesting. Under his watch, crime festers. Yes, indeed. Crime festers. Of course, gangs expand. The citizens live in fear. Yes, brothers and sisters. See the other day where we saw a set of, and I ask you guys, if it's war we going in? Because what we bringing all these weapons for? What? You seen all sorts of weaponry, brothers and sisters. You asking yourself, what are these things then? What Dominica have like that? Why all these weapons have to be coming in? Is war that have to be happening for this? And it's under his watch. Thank God they found them. That's good. Yes, wonderful. But brothers and sisters, many have, brothers and sisters, but I tell you sometimes my brain does just think, man, my mouth is so slow. That's interesting. Last week, that human nature of mine there. But brothers and sisters, many guns have entered into Dominica. How do we know this? Because many people have lost their lives as a result of the very thing we are talking about right now. So yes, they prevented some from coming in, no doubt about it. But in little Dominica, why are we resorting to this kind of situation or lifestyle, brothers and sisters? We're not going to war. We hear about the situation in Israel and Iran and all kind of places, UK and Russia. Brothers and sisters, we don't have war here. Why are people bringing all this stuff in, brothers and sisters? Why? That is a good question to ask. Anyways, under his watch, crime festers, gangs expand, and citizens live in fear. The streets are no longer safe. When, of course, people can rob people in broad daylight on camera. I mean, that is another situation. Under his watch, that has happened, brothers and sisters. Justice is no less for the Justice Department. As for that, brothers and sisters, we talk about the police and we talk about lawyers. Tune in to BrBpTV live podcast, brothers and sisters. We're going to get the vibrations, no doubt about it. Justice is no longer blind. It is bought. We've seen it's bought when certain matters are being brought forth in front of the judge and it's being thrown out. Not the judge, brought forth in front of the justice system in Dominica. And these matters are thrown out when political opponents and all these people are being ambushed by a system that of which is not created by the system, but created by a new form culture of political kingship, I would have to say. It's interesting how you look at things. But it has been bought, brothers and sisters. Delayed. Even the very BlacKMOORE himself talking about... The very BlacKMOORE himself is talking about we need to fast track things because so much matters are being delayed. The very BlacKMOORE, I tell you sometimes these people just say things because they sound nice. Not necessarily because they mean it. Not at all. But it sounds nice, brothers and sisters. Both delayed or silenced. Yet Blackmore is sitting comfortably in his office. Yes. Protected by politics, not by performance. Blackmore has been a total failure when it comes on to the total. Them people go after a man that not escaped, no. A man that apparently they may have some links with. I talking about Choxy. Under his watch that happened. Bear kidnapping happened in broad daylight in front of all of us. And they beat him and they put in himself, and the next thing, plane coming from wherever it coming, you know. It just happened to be en route. Gassa boy, all you boy. And you think people just forget this thing. Well, some people just forget it, you know, but not me. I don't forget things like that, brothers and sisters. It is very sad that these things have happened under his watch. That Rayburn Blackmore fella there. Interesting times that we're living in, brothers and sisters. Police under-resourced. Very true. So on top of the justice system no longer being blind, it's both delayed or silenced. Yet Blackmore sits comfortably in his office, and police is very much under-resourced. Look, they forget to rob the Gassa, I never heard that happen before in my history of being a little youth. In Dominica, brothers and sisters, them people rob the police station. When you bold enough to rob the police station, and up to now, nobody know who robbed the police station in St. Joe on the Blackmore watch that happened. Blackmore. So police are under-resourced. Not just under-resourced. Well, that can be applicable to under-resourced, brothers and sisters. There's not much personnel when it comes on to these things. That's most likely why they got robbed. Crime statistics are buried. Yes. I just talk about the Choxy individuals. We pretend as if that never happened. We're talking about the people who have obtained Dominica passports, diplomatic passports. Al Jazeera literally did a whole report on that. They're not just Al Jazeera people. People doing crime or following crime across the world find links to Dominica to the point where European Union had to come up to Dominica in Portsmouth. Then SKERRIT come and tell people he's very happy and the meetings have been very successful. Today, European Union, we will talk about that. Don't afraid. We will talk about these things, brothers and sisters. Victims being ignored. Remember when I spoke about about ministers using, trying to give favors in exchange for certain things? And then you're saying about where's the justice, brothers and sisters? I remember a particular situation, you know. A particular situation where police were protecting police. This is why when I was doing the podcast, not the podcast, when I did the reaction with the lawyer, the businessman, and Matt, I tell you guys, I know this happens for true, for certain. I was one of the witnesses there. And the people, them, they cannot speak properly. Sometimes they're confused. They don't know what. Thank God I was there. Yeah, last week. I'm saying if this can happen to these people, far more. Those who don't have somebody to speak for them. I was a witness to the very thing, brothers and sisters, and the police was going to use because it's their friend, their people. The police was defending and the man that wrong. The man dead. The man, that's absolutely 100% wrong. And that matter almost got flipped, brothers and sisters. I tell you, victims being ignored. Sometimes they blaming the victims. Can you imagine that? Communities abandoned, brothers and sisters. Very much so. All 21 constituencies have been abandoned. Somebody tell me I lie. Labor rights out there watching my videos and always want to come and tell me things. Or you should take down my number and tell me I lie. No, don't take down my number at all. Put it in the comment box below. And tell me I lie. If all the communities across Dominica have been ignored, giving people houses that they cannot pass on to the next generation does not create any sort of wealth. But it's far less to create generational wealth. You do not own anything, my goodness gracious. Dominicans only what? Communities abandoned. When we demand answers, We get smirks, deflection. Oh, that is a psychological term, deflection. Yes, brothers and sisters, there's a lot of deflecting. This is one of the reasons why I always tell people when they have the press conference that apparently when UWP have their press conference, they're always trying to come back to, to ask more questions. Even though I see Kalai doing that thing there with UWP, he doesn't do it in the press conference of the Prime Minister. No, he doesn't do it. But he come in and ask the same question differently as if people are not aware of what he's trying to do, even though the answers were answered already, the questions were answered already. He's coming back again to sort of create some sort of rife. I don't know what on earth he's trying to do, but he doesn't do it in the office of the Prime Minister. No, he doesn't do that. No, brothers and sisters, this is why you have to use your brain when you see certain people doing things on the representation of journalism. I don't think people understand journalism, brothers and sisters. Journalism is on the understanding where the people themselves have questions. They have questions, but for some reason or the other, you're not asking the necessary questions or following up if that needs to be asked to the individuals who are in charge of certain things, or on the individuals who are in charge of the people's behalf, or on the people's behalf. We don't see none of that happening in the office of Prime Minister. Might do a little something here and there, but generally speaking, we don't see this. But they're trying it when it comes down to you. I don't understand these things, man. But anyways, when we demand answers, we get smirks, deflection, and empty statements. Sometimes when they're asking SKERRIT questions, SKERRIT doesn't even answer the question. He's saying some other thing that have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the question he's been asked. Absolutely nothing. Sometimes even in Gasa, let me continue. So yes, brothers and sisters, empty statements. Is this leadership or dictatorship? I think it's a way of manipulation, brothers and sisters. Manipulation. This is why when journalists are there, they need to actually do the work of journalism, because the people want answers. The people, Dominica, 65,000 people in Dominica now going down. 65,000 people went from 72 to 65,000. It's very interesting that they're still pushing the narrative of 72,000 people when the very worldometer has it there. 65,000 people has it. But apparently, let us continue, brothers and sisters. I kind of sidetracked a little. BLACKMOORE has turned the Ministry of National Security, I was going to say insecurity. BLACKMOORE has turned the Ministry of National Security into a fortress of fear and favoritism. We see this. We see this. Because why did they go after the people's constitutional rights? Rights not enshrined just for Dominica, but the entire globe when it comes down to individuals' rights. Remember, brothers and sisters, and I'll say it again. The Constitution doesn't give people rights. The Constitution reminds the authorities of the people's rights that they already have given by the Creator. Because the Creator gave us free will, not true? So people can just do whatever they want. Not true, whatever they want, no, brothers and sisters. But if you're infringing on somebody else's rights, then these things have to be put in check. This is why they are what we call gates. You don't take out people's freedom, no. You stop them from infringing on the freedom of others. This is where the gates come in, brothers and sisters. And when they're going after people's constitutional right, that tells you something. Don't it, brothers and sisters? Tell me I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Brothers and sisters, I long for the day for me to be wrong. Especially when it comes down to these things there. Oh, yes, brothers and sisters. He has turned the Ministry of National Security into a fortress of fear and favoritism. Instead of protecting the people, he's shedding the powerful and suppressing dissent. Enough is enough, this individual is saying right there. Dominica is not a playground for political enablers, or safety is not negotiable. Apparently it is. Apparently it is. Because all the guns that they prevent from coming in Dominica, apparently it have a lot inside Dominica. And it's interesting, when they have a lot inside Dominica, they know it have inside Dominica, then they come in and say, amnesty. Come, no, just come, we wouldn't do you nothing. They apparently don't know what amnesty means. Because in the same voice they tell you to have amnesty, or then when you bring it in, they have to ask you questions and think if it's tied to anything, then they are arresting you. That's boy, I tell you, something is wrong with humans, boy. Yes, man. Dominica is not a playground for political enablers. Our safety is not negotiable. It's paramount. It's time for Rayburn Blackmore to step down. They're not going to be step down like that now. They remove him as being the PAL rep. You know, but he's not going to step down just like that, brothers and sisters. He might have to make his money. He might have to make his lajash. All right. We cannot secure a future with a minister who can't even secure the present. Oh, that's a good one right there. We cannot secure a future with a minister who can't even secure the present. The Dominicans, let me tell you something. I saw something very interesting right there. I saw something very interesting. And we're talking about, you know, certain things and what have you. All right. All right. This was created about 2 days ago, brothers and sisters, and I saw something very interesting that bothered me. SKERRIT is saying that Dominica is willing to divest some national authority to OECS, Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. He's saying that Dominica is what doing what? Want to divest some national authority to the OECS. Now, brothers and sisters, that might sound nice because you can Dominica in problems, so might as well get outside here. Not true? But there's a problem with that. And this is why a number of persons believe that SKERRIT believe that Dominica is his. So on the merit of these brothers and sisters, did SKERRIT come to Dominicans to say, hey guys, maybe that is a good idea, we would want to try to do this, what are your thoughts on this? Coming to the people to first give their viewpoint on it. Not true? Have you guys heard anything of that sort? It's like, this is why I tell you guys how the global elites work, you know. The global elites don't go after individuals who are the local people, you know. They go after the government authorities. They may be paying them to do things or whatever, giving them gifts so that they'll do their bidding for them. Because the leaders represent the people. So whatever the government decides they want to do, they can just decide, that way the people, let us do what the people at the top paying us to do. True or false? You know, I learned this, brothers and sisters, I learned this under Obama. We're learning a number of things, especially people like me who come in and they say, oh, you are so you make yourself in society and whatever, and then they coming in. I wonder if I should say that. Let me leave that alone. Let me leave that there. All right. Brothers and sisters, the world is not like you think it is, you know. All right then. They will go after the government officials, brothers and sisters. The individuals on top. Hey, I find you doing well. Me and Motley, you doing well. You talking about climate? No, wow, okay, cool. Let's see what something that we know cannot be, you know, sustainable by objective reality. You remember when talking about? Well, let me YouTube by me, please. Dominica Prime Minister SKERRIT Tuesday said his government is willing to divest some of its national authority to OECS. Who gave him that right to do so? I don't know. Who gave him that right to do so? I don't know. But he wants to divest some of its national authority. The people vote for you to do that? Huh? The people voted for you to do that, SKERRIT? They say, okay, we want you to divest some of the national authority to the OECS. They say that? The people tell you to do that? Who tell you to do that, SKERRIT? Who? Who tell you to do that? I want to know, brothers and sisters. Did the modern father that you say your modern father can do for you, did they are the ones that told you to do this? When Melissa come and say, they will be your father, who? The people that will be the sons and daughters of the father, were they the ones to tell all you to do this? You just decide to do whatever they want. The people just letting this. Because if the people don't understand, brothers, hey. But you see, that's the beauty of unity, brothers and sisters. That's where unity comes in. Some people have no clue what is going on. None at all. But the people that have no clue what is going on, they are the ones with the biggest set of mouths to come and talk. As if they know what is going on. Brothers and sisters, one of the things that I notice a lot of Dominicans lack is critical thinking. Not all. A lot of Dominicans lack critical thinking. Because I've been arguing with some of them. It's been a moment since I've argued. I had to check you out, whatever. Okay, cool. You think you want to stay, no problem. All right then. As I tell a lot of people who can go, and so forth and so forth. So, anyways, guys, I saying too long on this. It's not whole day I have, but this. Let's just continue right there. But But you guys get the point where I'm going. Addressing the 7th meeting, OECS Assembly SKERRIT, responded to complaints from opposition legislators during the debate of 5 bills, blah, 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 electoral reform, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. All right, Prince, great, all right. Yes. Now, some people might say, oh, but Mr. Lix, they want to do things. One of the things that they're trying to do is for them to have a unilateral, is that the word I'm looking for, unilateral, when it comes down to elections? Brothers and sisters, different communities are different. And one thing that applies to Barbados doesn't necessarily apply to Dominica. Things that apply to St. Kitts doesn't necessarily apply to Dominica because Dominica has more resources. So the same thing St. Kitts is doing, we got to do the same thing St. Kitts is doing. St. Kitts has to do things on a personal point of view. Dominica has to do it on a personal point of view. And when the people are speaking and say, this is what we want, and the Prime Minister say, no, it's not that the people want, we're going to make our own thing and then put it on the people, kind of reminds me of something very similar. When they took out people from certain positions that the people themselves have democratically voted for in the different constituencies, SKERRIT them decided removing them from the positions and they installing their own people inside without any sort of voting outside of elections. So we put in that person there for you. All right, okay, great, wonderful. Vote for that person because that person is representing me. So now we don't have people that represent the people. We have people, PAL reps representing the Prime Minister, the government itself. And then when you realize nothing is happening, this is why I talked about earlier, brothers and sisters. What is happening in the constituencies? You seen it happen? No, yes, maybe. All right, brothers and sisters. So I did not see much happen. You know exactly where it's coming from. Because it's not the representative of the people that there, it's a representative of the government that is there. It's interesting that I'm talking about the government and the government is the people, but that has been sidetracked, brothers and sisters. Anyway, something very interesting when it comes down to the situation that has been taking place when it comes down to, the U.S. state sanctions. All right, so Prime Minister Gaston, Foreign Affairs team, and the Foreign Affairs team actively engaging in U.S. State Department of Sanction concerns. You guys can read this stuff for yourself and see what well, let me just go for it short. Cabinet Antigua and Barbuda has deliberated on reports suggesting the country's inclusion in the proposed U.S. sanction. The St. Kitts has also engaged with them as well when it comes into that situation. And of course, they have initiated under the administration of not the sanctions list initiated under the. Remember, brothers and sisters, back in the day they had a draft. Remember the draft? Remember the draft, brothers and sisters, when a number of countries came from the draft, and then they're actually looking into certain countries now. 12 out of the 36 countries have already received sanctions, and they're looking to put more. Doesn't mean they're going to be putting it, but the people who have made, the countries that have made it, that is 36 countries, 12 of them have already been struck down. Anyways, let's continue. The cabinet reaffirms that the United States of America remains one of Antigua and Barbuda. I think that is actually true, because I think Antigua and Barbuda, when it comes down to Chinese versus America, they chose America, which I think was a very smart move on their part. Anyways, keep in mind, they still have to, and just the other day, I think they were talking about some ship that they sold, and apparently they removed that thing. The U.S. New York court removed. Anyways, let's continue right there, brothers and sisters. Those who know. Those who don't know, well, you don't know. Anyways, the cabinet reaffirms that the United States remains one of Antigua and Barbuda's closest allies and emphasizes its commitment to preserving and strengthening the long-standing and mutual beneficial relationship between the two nations. The cabinet underscores a continued reliance on construction and quiet diplomacy in addressing the concerns raised by the United States. In further notice that the Prime Minister, the Honorable, and these people, and Ambassador in Washington, D.C., are actively engaging the U.S. State Department. I don't think Antigua will stay on that list, to tell you the truth. However, Antigua, you guys have also been involved in certain interesting things. Just like Dominica. You guys also made Al Jazeera. You guys made Al Jazeera as well. So, anyways, let's continue right there. Did they make? Yeah, I think they made. Anyways, let's continue, brothers and sisters. The cabinet underscores blah, blah, blah. Further, blah, blah. Several matters raised are currently being addressed. The question here is, brothers and sisters, as you read this stuff, the question here is, brothers and sisters, what has Dominica done? One of the things when Marco Rubio came is they want transparency when it comes into certain situations. We know in Dominica we have a lot of people claiming that we are a transparent government, accountable. We don't see it, but that's what they say. You know, there's a difference when you say something and then there's action that follows it. In Dominica, we're not seeing the action. We see a lot of it saying, though. Transparent, most robust due diligence process. In Dominica have the most set of criminals that come and obtain our passports. And you don't think Dominica might be on? Because let's pray that Dominica not there. Let's pray. The CBI is dying, eh? The CBI is dying. I don't know. Sometimes I talk in there and I wonder if people, you know, does actually pay attention. Do they pay attention or they just swallow whatever the officials tell them? This is where people like me, grassroots media, these people, we challenge the thought process of what is taking place, what is going on. You say this thing, but based off evidence, we've seen this, soon we question this. No. Just like when Matt asked SKERRIT, what do you think about, you know, the country doesn't have much money and then only increasing all the salaries? What is that about? You know, SKERRIT saying he don't believe that journalists should ask them this question. The people. And nobody, guys, let me continue, let me move on, brothers and sisters. So apparently in the Schengen area, European Union, brothers and sisters, set to toughen visa-free travel, suspension rules. Obviously, we know about the situation when they actually had the matter in court, votes in 41 to 10. So 10 were in favor to keep the visa free and 41 was against it. Obviously, we know that's going to be coming down, cracking down at the system right there. The European Parliament and Council team have agreed to allow the European Union to suspend. When was this written, brothers and sisters? This was written yesterday. Okay, so to suspend visa-free travel into European Union was agreed upon, allowing the Union to more flexibly when countries backslide on important principles on the visa waiver agreement. One of the things that the government, the European Union wanted was to ensure that all the monies raised from CBI comes to where? The home country. I will never forget that. That is one I will always remember because we don't see it happening in Dominica. And it's interesting that the monies doesn't come to Dominica, but the monies is used that they say that is stored somewhere overseas. In Dubai, I don't know, somewhere in A28, I don't know, it's stored in I don't know, brothers and sisters, but somewhere, it is stored somewhere, brothers and sisters, for development in Dominica. So you have monies overseas that's supposed to be used for Dominica development, but it's not in the consolidated fund that will actually have some sort of, you know. So we don't know how much money is out there, but it's for development for Dominica. When you ask yourself, what exactly is the development that we're seeing? We see a hospital, you know, we see the hospital, the building, the healthcare that was developed. No? What house in the healthcare has been developed. True, facts. Nice looking building, no doubt about it. Well, let me leave that there. But brothers and sisters, when we see this kind of sentiments happen, you have to ask yourself a question. Who exactly is who doing what for what? Are they doing things for the people, the benefit of the people, or are they just making it look like the hospital where the healthcare is not there? Do we see a nice, I get to live in a nice little building, a little apartment, you know? But I cannot pass it on to my future, you know. There's not much jobs being created. We have to resort to NEP that most likely is paying people minimum wage, which does not create any sort of generational wealth. But you know, that's what we can give the people at right now. Once they are able to do a little something, they get $800, $800, $900, $1,000. They get a little $800, $900, $1,000, $1,001 going up. Brothers and sisters, that when I heard Thompson speaking, it shocked me to find out that only 4%, and that is of course including the ministers of government, brothers and sisters, only 4% of Dominica is making more than 2,500 EC dollars. That's like, if that does shock you in your bones, I don't know. $2,500 is about what? 890 US, around there. Brothers and sisters, I just mentioned 890 US dollars. That is 4% of Dominica's working class, working people. 4%. We don't talk about the unemployed. We talking about Casa. That means 96% of the workforce, brothers and sisters, is making less than 2,500, and labor rights out there. Mia Motley, it was interesting that I saw my video pop up to me. I watched it, and I remember Mia Motley talking about the minimum wage increasing, and Dominicans were so happy to hear us speak about those things because they were there listening attentively, but not realizing that Mia Motley is not talking about Dominica. She's talking about Barbados. Whatever it increased by $10, I don't know how much it increased by. I should have the research on that. No, I shouldn't. You guys will do it yourself. But she made the claim that they were going to increase the minimum wage, and it's increased, not going to the, she said it increased today. Her words, direct words, it increased today. Labor rights out there with the over 96% getting less than $2,500. Pull up listening and realize, but which is not talking about us. The very people who come to celebrate, my goodness gracious, are the ones that making us 96% make less than 2,500 EC dollars. The other day I found out that Dominica doctors making 5,000 EC dollars. I say, well, best all you had leave that job and go and work in McDonald's, Burger King, because these people making 2,000, and if you become supervisor, 2,003, 2,005 US, 2,500 US dollars. That is more than your doctor's salary. And doctors is supposed to be a prestigious job. Well, in Dominica, it's prestigious because if you're making about $5,000 and only 4% making above 2,500, you really prestigious, eh? Yes. And Dominicans pull up there supporting the very people, willfully keeping them down, while we evidently seen based on objective reality that the very people that they're supporting are living much better lives than them. Well, European Union, coming for clutch, brothers and sisters. You guys can go for your stuff yourself. I can make my point already. So, yeah. Just interesting. It's interesting. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. I would really like to hear what you guys have to say right there. Do you think that SKERRIT believes that Dominica is his own? Do you think so? When you've seen all this crazy stuff happening, my goodness. Let's just open all your eyes now. My goodness. But some of all your eyes open, you know. It's just that some of all you just wicked. I remember watching that video, and a man called me con artist. The man called me con artist. So I asked him how I con artist. He can't tell me. Oh my God. The man called me con artist. I never con you. I never sing artist, yes, but I don't con one. No? I just do music from time to well, it's been a moment. It's actually perform, man. But still, con artist, really? You pull up supporting the very person that conning you and you calling me the con artist. That is something else, eh? Humans, boy. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? If you appreciate my concise, sometimes I'm, I have the passion inside of me. I want to see Dominica doing much better, but sometimes people that's all he does. But keep in mind, brothers and sisters, I also understand that Dominicans definitely want change. I do understand that. The government knows this as well. SKERRIT knows that the Dominica people, majority do not support him. This is why it's been alleged that he has to be paying people, giving people money to come and show up in events and all kind of thing, give bus drivers tires if that be the case, and just try to make it seem, why are you getting the money to all that? The doing all these things, but maybe they're taking the loan that they're taking there to then put it on the backs of the people. We'll take the loans, they know where the loans coming from, it'll pass through to Dominica. Bruh. Sometimes I wish I didn't know what I knew. I just say, why can't you just be a normal person, Mystelics? Why can't you just be normal and just see things or whatever, just leave it there and just go back to what I used to do back in the day with my Mystelics. Well, it was Mystelics commentary back in the day, and I used to make millions of views on those things there. Because well, it was oh my goodness. Why am I so passionate about these things, bro? Anyways, guys, I don't want to keep you guys long. What are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Nationals of 61 third world countries can currently travel to the Schengen shut after up to 90 days without visa. Well, going away soon. And we know we can thank for our brothers and sisters. SKERRIT. SKERRIT. Who else? Who else? This is why I always warn ministers and say, be mindful of who you associate with, because your association can cause your country to also fall in conflict with that. St. Lucia. Okay. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. These are just my thoughts, my views, my opinions. What are yours? Leave them in the comment box below, guys. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notification so you'll be notified and be notified when I post and publish my videos right there. Of course, click the bell so you can inadvertently become part of the Mystelics family. And of course, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Click it for me, brothers and sisters. I would appreciate the help to push these videos further and further there. Anyways, with that stay right there, what are your thoughts? Be real, brothers and sisters. Salute the King always, the one who guided me and gave me the inspiration of mind and wisdom and knowledge, understanding, key, brothers and sisters. Thanks for watching once again. Be positive.